Today is Monday, May 14th, 2018, and we are live. And I'm going to bring on Herb Alkhemyst here in just a second, getting set up. So I was talking to her yesterday. You've seen the broadcast here on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network. And we were talking about, she was letting me know about Cardi B, hip hop artist Cardi B. Now, you've heard me talk about Cardi B in the past, okay? And we're going to get her here on the screen here in just a second, so you'll get to see her. You've seen her broadcast, you know, she deals with holistic health and things like that. You've seen the different topics she's talked about, but we have her live here, okay? So we'll bring her on here in just a minute. I just sent you, okay, so you're accepting the request to come on the screen. Okay, so what happened was, HelloBeautiful.com had an article about this, and the other outlets have had articles about this as well. Okay, so there's been a dispute between two female hip hop artists, Azealia Banks and Cardi B. So we know Cardi B has Bodak Yellow. She's on Love and Hip Hop, and there was an interview on The Breakfast Club that Azealia Banks did on May 11th. So AtlantaBlackStar.com has an article about this. AtlantaBlackStar.com has an article about this. Okay, on the screen. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So we've got her here, Herb Alkhemyst. Okay, so your screen is a little pixelated. Your picture's a little pixelated. So yeah,
okay.
People can't really. It's hard for people to see you. Okay. All right. See you. So I'm going to see if you can adjust that. All right. So you and I were talking yesterday about, a couple of days ago, about this issue here with Cardi B and Azealia.
Yes.
There's an article. Hello, Beautiful.
I'm not sure if you can see me clear.
And also one from AtlantaBlackStar.com that has some background information. And this topic here, we're dealing with Cardi B deletes Instagram account after Azealia Banks says she's a caricature of a Black woman. Okay, we're going to discuss this topic and deal with the image of African-American women in media and hip hop. The image of African-American women in media and hip hop. So this is a much larger conversation that we're going to have here. Okay. Okay. So I think it's coming in better now.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and let people know who you are briefly and what you do, and then we'll jump into this conversation.
Greetings, everyone. I'm the Herb Alkhemyst. I'm a hip hop herbalist. Been making herbs and spitting rhymes since high school. So I'm also an event producer. So what I was saying, I was trying to finish my sentence. I also am an event producer. I co-produced the Real Family Reunion, Return of the Gods.
Okay.
And so, yes, or a few days ago, Azealia Banks was interviewed on The Breakfast Club. And during this interview, DJ Envy, I can't see you, Mike. I'm not sure if you're still there.
Okay.
No, your camera just went out.
I'm here.
Okay. So yeah, DJ Envy asked Azealia Banks about some of the statements that she had made about Cardi B in the past. You know, she had made some statements calling Cardi a talentless rat and all these different things. And so Azealia took it upon herself to address the things that she mentioned and why she felt that they were valid. And she basically was saying that she felt that we were getting somewhere, you know, the whole Black woman's narrative was getting somewhere when Beyonce put out Lemonade and certain things that her sister was doing at the time, and that we were rising in a sense as women, and that she felt that the narrative shifted from Black women empowerment to now what Cardi B is representing in terms of, you know, in a sense, how can I say, promiscuity, unprotected sex and,
Right.
drugs, violence, these types of things. And, she was just saying that she was bringing in colorism and saying that, if it were a darker complected sister, if herself were doing those types of things, or Nicki Minaj were doing these types of things that Cardi's able to do, openly being a part of a gang, these types of things, that they would immediately be stopped and prevented from doing these types of things. But since Cardi B is a lighter complected woman, and not even quote unquote, Azealia doesn't really consider Cardi B black,
Right. So she, what's Cardi B's background? We know she's part Dominican. We know that I think part Puerto Rican. What's her background?
Well, she's actually Dominican. Her father is from Dominican Republic, and her mother is Trinidadian, from Trinidad.
Oh, Trinidadian, right. Yeah. And you're part Trinidadian as well.
Yeah, my father is from Trinidad, Marabella, southern Trinidad. And so now the thing is that Cardi B, Trinidad is a very multinational place. It's 40% East Indian, about 30% West African, but then you also have, people from the Middle East there, people from China there. It's very mixed nationally. It's like a bit of a melting pot. Right. And so when looking at Cardi B's mother, she more resembles, I don't know her 100%, history, but she has more of a Spanish type of look as well. And so I can see a bit of African genetics in there, but it's more so she's very light complected, and looks, in a sense, very, potentially Spanish also. And so, that is one thing, I don't know who's going to actually check her blood content to see how much African she is, or this or that.
She has some African ancestry. She has some African
ancestry in there. Now, my thing is this. I think it's wonderful that we're having this dialogue in music right now. My thing is Azealia herself. In that same conversation, Azealia is talking about how she let a Caucasian man penetrate her anally with his tongue. And so it's like, if she had the
did she say that on the Breakfast Club interview on May 11th?
Yes, she did. Amongst a number of other things that are just
so Azealia is way out there, and the only thing, most of what I know about Azealia Banks are her Twitter posts, but her Twitter account was shut down. I can't name one song Azealia Banks has.
Right.
So I just hear all these crazy things. But what's taking place is that, you contacted me about this because Cardi B shut down her Instagram account behind this, right? And there were accusations from Azealia Banks that she's a caricature of a black woman. Exactly. And see, I would see clips of Love and Hip Hop here and there. This is before Cardi B became big, and she was on there. And to me, she sounds ignorant. So people have to understand. I'm not trying to attack Cardi B, but we have to deal with how these images influence our daughters. Okay, this is extremely important. We have to deal with how these images influence our daughters. I'm gonna come back to you here in just a minute, and I'm gonna give people the name of this article from hellobeautiful.com that deals with this also. And I want you to talk about your Instagram post that you did on Cardi B's Instagram account talking about this issue, right? So what happens is Cardi B was a stripper about 2 or 3 years ago, okay? And I've talked about before, Cardi B has stopped stripping, but she's still prostituting herself. And if you actually read her lyrics, don't listen to her lyrics, actually read her lyrics. Go to azlyrics.com. Every parent needs to know about azlyrics.com. There are other websites out there as well, but azlyrics.com is one that I use. And you can type in the name of almost any song and they give you the lyrics to the song. So you can see the type of programming that is being pushed upon our children. And we have to understand this programming so we can fight against it. Okay. So what happens is she was #1 on Billboard with her debut CD, right? She's had a number of top 10 hits, #1 hits, things like this. Bodak Yellow is one of them, one of the most popular songs. Okay. So many of our daughters
will see, oh, she used to be a stripper. Now she's a rapper. Now she's on the cover of all these magazines. Now she's performing at this award show. Now she was at the Met Gala. Okay. So if I do this, okay, if I act ratchet and ignorant like this, maybe this will happen to me as well. Okay. So this is a very, very negative precedent. This is a very negative example for our daughters, for our children. I'm not attacking Cardi B, but this stuff is out there. We have to deal with it. Okay, go ahead. And then your screen just went out also. Did you do something on the computer? Because we can't see you anymore.
Oh, no, I did not.
Okay, keep talking. I'll try to fix it. Keep talking. I'll try to fix it.
Okay. So what I was saying is that basically what I was getting to is that while I'm happy this narrative is going on, from the standpoint of Azealia Banks saying it, she's very hypocritical. And given the fame of Cardi B, she wouldn't do much for the community as well. She wouldn't do much for sisterhood as well, or the African American woman narrative as well. Now, outside of that, I did want to mention the Instagram situation that led up to Cardi B deleting her page. So apparently Cardi B saw the interview on the Breakfast Club, begins to take to Twitter, etc. And then on it was the day before yesterday. Was that Saturday?
Yeah, May 11th.
Yeah,
it was May 11th, which is probably a Friday.
Yeah, so she took to Instagram and said this. She said, I reread this a couple of times for the Aquilas and the B's out there. A woman who constantly finds joy in belittling Black women, Beyonce, Rihanna, Sky Jackson, Remy Ma, can't try to stand for them because it's convenient. The difference between me and you, I've never pretended to be or represent someone I'm not. I've made it where I am for being myself and staying true to that. I'm not trying to represent nobody but myself. You busy trying to be a voice of reason and a representative. You can't understand where your insecurities come from and why you're not happy in your own skin. So you think because you can't figure your shit out, that you can create confusion for me, make me unsure about who I am. I know who I am, a daughter to a Hispanic father and a Caribbean mother, and I'm proud of that. I've never dismissed my heritage or my culture. I've never pretended to sound like anyone or look like anyone for attention or to make me feel better about who I'm not. I've been this way always. You think because someone uses a lot of big words and long sentences that makes them smart? How smart are you if you don't know the meaning of illiterate means to not know how to read or write? I can do both and speak 2 languages fluently. Just because I mix a few words up, forget to use commas, or misspell a few words doesn't make me illiterate and doesn't make me stupid. And because I laugh a little harder or talk a little louder doesn't make me a caricature. You think you're advocating for women and you're doing the opposite. I pray you find peace in your own heart and reason in your own mind. Pray for your own success before you pray for the downfall of others.
Right. Okay. So that was Cardi B's Instagram comment, right? And then, and this was in response to Azealia Banks. Now, you posted a comment on Cardi B's Instagram account as well. What did you say?
So I said, I hear you in this, and I do believe Azealia is a hell of a hypocrite. However, I'm looking forward to you raising yourself up, especially because you rep my flag. I see, which is Trinidad. I see.
So that's the flag that's behind you right now, the Trinidad flag, so people understand.
Yeah. Okay. I put the flag there. That's why I didn't say it out loud. Yeah. So I see you rep my flag, Trinidad. I see you though, sis, and I don't want to rush your growth. But you have to understand that the ignorance of your youth is being used against you to partake in the destruction of the future generations. You say you're a woman of God, etc., etc. But all you rap about is being a hoe, popping pills, and gang stuff. Where's the God in that, sis? If it takes Azalea's hypocritical self to get you to begin elevating, I'm here for it. You will see when your seeds get here, though. I'm praying for you. I am Cardi B. And so I posted that, and then I tried to go back to the page and I noticed that I couldn't get to the page.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I got blocked. Try to, be as cool as I could be and, but be real. And then I started to look, and everyone was saying, well, no, her whole Instagram was down after that. And so that was that morning. And then Azealia Banks, I guess, hears word of
I think this was yesterday.
This was the day before yesterday.
Okay, the 12th. So Saturday, May 12th.
Yeah, May 12th.
Okay.
And then so Azealia Banks comes back after Cardi posts that last post and deletes her Instagram. And this is what Azealia has to say. She posted a picture of Cardi B without any makeup. There were other posts that Cardi put up on her page calling pictures of her at the Met Gala and calling, Azealia unattractive and these different things. So this is what Azealia Banks had to say. Alkhemyst, sis, give it up. You have a fever and are leaking breast milk everywhere, trying to come up with a refutable comeback. Sis spent 12 hours proofreading a message while still completely missing the point. You and whoever wrote this reply for you don't have the intelligence to engage in this not so complex discussion. I spoke about it for all of 2 minutes in an interview, and you respond by calling me unattractive, mention me bleaching my skin, and telling me to suck your ass. Immediately proving yourself to be exactly who I thought you were. A bird, sis. Let's not forget that you look like a big toe with a hammer nail without all of that contour on your face. You're a very mediocre looking light-skinned woman with cold sore scars on the sides of her mouth, a coated tongue you love to wag around, and horribly deep-set eyes. For your information, I bleached my skin due to a severe breakout I had from a Depo-Provera shot. Some dark-skinned women have problems with hyperpigmentation, and it can take years for our scars to fade. Once again, you missed the point. The color of my skin has absolutely nothing to do with this greater discussion surrounding Black women's culture and our
which one is
our representation in the media. From what I know, you have always identified as Latina. You've only recently begun to identify as black once you became a part of hip hop and felt pressure to represent the women you so often called burnt, bald-headed roaches. Even so, it's clear that you are having a problem with this newfound proximity to Blackness, as evidenced by your propensity to turn any and all attempts to engage you in this important cultural discussion into false sympathetic crybaby rants about how you're just a dumb bitch from the hood who never asked to be a role model. Reverse psychology won't work here. As a Black woman in hip hop, it is imperative that you use your newfound Black womanhood responsibly. Saying things to Rolling Stone like, I don't even use condoms, when HIV remains a threat to the many minority girls who patronize your music is irresponsible. I suggest you leave these types of cultural conversations alone for now. You don't have the range.
Right. So what's happening is the reason why we're having this conversation is, one, you have these two African-American women, Dominican women in media fighting against each other, one, and they're both in hip hop. Two, our daughters see this. Our daughters see this and they're being influenced by this nonsense. Okay. And what takes place is many of the parents who are watching and grandparents who are watching this broadcast right now have daughters and granddaughters who are being influenced by this nonsense, but the parents and grandparents don't know this is going on. So they don't know how to have these conversations. They don't know, what to talk about. They don't understand this influence. This is why I gave the website azlyrics.com, the letter A, the letter Z, lyrics, Lyrics, azlyrics, Lyrics, azlyrics.com. Okay. Because when you hear these different songs, right? You hear these different songs on the radio, you need to go to azlyrics.com and pull up the lyrics so you can read the lyrics and understand the impact that this is having on our children so we can have these conversations with them. Okay. All right. So let me just back up a minute here. One, there was an article from AtlantaBlackStar.com, May 11th, 2018. Azealia Banks defends calling Cardi B illiterate, untalented rat. I didn't know the bar would be lowered so much. Now, first of all, I'm against using derogatory, dehumanizing names for African American women and men. I don't call them hood rats.
Right.
I don't call our brothers and sisters N-words and things like this, because I understand the power that words have and how they're used to dehumanize people, and they're used to put negative characteristics on a targeted group of people to then justify the mistreatment of that group of people. Okay, so so this is an article from AtlantaBlackStar.com, May 11th. We'll post the article. We'll post a clip here. We'll post a link here on the thread of the broadcast. But very quickly, some comments from Cardi B on her May 11th, Friday, May 11th Breakfast Club interview. Okay, and the Breakfast Club, for those that don't know, is a huge radio show, but they broadcast on YouTube. You'll see the clips on Twitter. So you have millions of people, and it's syndicated. It's a nasty syndicated radio show. Charlamagne tha God, Angela Yee, and DJ Envy. Okay, and then they show clips of it on Revolt, which is P Diddy's cable TV channel. Okay, so this is a huge show, and just so people know, I don't listen to the show, but I know some interviews that take place because I see them on YouTube. That's how I find out. I see them on YouTube, or I read articles about it. I don't even listen to the Breakfast Club. But Azealia Banks said, quote, "When I look at Black women's culture as a whole thing, and you think about the media and the power that the media had the power to get rid of me. The media has the power to make anyone the forefront. Okay, this is what we're trying to grab Black women's consciousness right. This is what we're trying to grab Black women's consciousness with right now. Okay, so she's basically saying the power of the media and the corporate conglomerates, they have the power to elevate a Cardi B. They have a power to de-elevate or suppress an Azealia Banks, or suppress a conscious female hip hop artist. Okay, go ahead. What'd you say?
I said they had the power to suppress and silence Lauryn Hill. We didn't get another album really after Miseducation. And we saw how big of an impact that had. I remember those days. You know, my top MCs, Lauryn Hill, Missy Elliott, you know, Soleil, Sarak, the MC, you know, Soulflower Amen. And so these are the type of women, their lyrics influenced the person that I am today.
Right.
And think about, yes, we had the Kims back then. We had the, you know, Foxy Brown, and she's also Trinidadian. And she had, you know, was more of that Hoochie Mama persona, etc. Gangsta chicks persona. But we had Lauryn, you know what I'm saying? And so her words were so much louder than anybody else's words for us. And so it's not even so much that this type of person at this level of growth can't exist, but at the same time, when are we going to get, it's not that the women aren't out there that are bringing forth this good message or positive role models for young girls, is that they aren't getting pushed to the, you know, to the same level as the Nicki Minaj's and the Cardi B's and these women. And these women are setting the example for young girls to aspire to be like. And I check for all of these girls. I check for the girls that are also not known. And when you listen to the lyrical content of other young women who are making music right now, they're talking about selling their bodies.
Exactly.
Drugs, you know, just very low vibrational things.
And they're talking about they're talking about violence, they're talking about beating up other African American women, killing them, things like this, right? So absolutely. So let me do this. I want to read another quote from Azealia Banks. Then I want to go to some of the lyrics from Bodak Yellow, okay, from azlyrics.com. So Azealia Banks goes on to say in her interview, Friday, May 11th, 2018 interview on the Breakfast Club, she says, "It is very concerning to me that this conversation concerning Black women's culture changes. I feel like maybe 2 years ago, the conversation surrounding Black women's culture was really reaching an all-time high, and we were really like discussing our power amongst ourselves. And, you know, Beyonce came out with Lemonade, as you said." She went on to say, there was just this really intelligent conversation going on nationally, and then everything just kind of changed, and then it was like Cardi B. Okay, so we have to understand how the corporate conglomerates can elevate. So she was on, so check this out. So she was on Mona Scott's one of her terrible reality shows, Love and Hip Hop. I can't remember which one it was, Atlanta or whatever. One of these idiotic
New York.
shows.
He's in
The
6
Love and
and
Hip Hop New York. See, they franchise the stupidity. Check this out. They franchise and duplicate the stupidity, the programming. Okay, now that's on VH1, right? VH1 is owned by Viacom. Viacom is one of the 6 multinational media corporations that control 90% of what you read, see, and hear. Viacom owns VH1, BET, and MTV. They control about 80% of the music videos shown on TV. The 6 multinational media corporations are Comcast, which owns NBC and the NBC affiliate, NBC and the subsidiaries, MSNBC, things like this, CNBC. That's all owned by Comcast. You have Walt Disney. Walt Disney owns ABC, ABC Family, ESPN 1 and 2, all those things, right? That's Walt Disney. You have CBS Corp, okay? CBS Evening News, things like this, CBS. You have News Corp. News Corp owns the Fox News Network, which is the cable channel that has Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham and Geraldo Rivera, these people who attack African Americans on a daily basis. But News Corp, okay, also owns the Fox TV network on broadcast television that shows culturally uplifting TV shows like Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're both owned by Rupert Murdoch. They're both owned by Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch owns the Fox News Network on cable. He also owns the Fox TV channel that shows Empire, which is one of the most degrading shows for African Americans on television, shows us being dysfunctional, just totally idiotic. Okay. But Rupert Murdoch also owns the Wall Street Journal. Rupert Murdoch, can you break it up?
You broke
Rupert
up
Murdoch
too.
also. Okay, Rupert Murdoch also owns the Wall Street Journal. Okay, I was coming through all right on. I'm monitoring it on Facebook as well. Okay, so we'll okay, we can hear you, and your picture will come back on in just a minute. How's everybody doing here on Facebook? Okay, post your comments. We'll come in just a minute. I'm Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. This lovely lady I have here with me. You've seen her many times here, but I think it's the first time we've been together. On Facebook. This is Herb Alkhemyst as well. Okay. And then go ahead. What are you going to say? Okay, you're breaking up.
This is our second.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you. Okay, but you have News Corp. Okay. Once again, the 6 multinational media corporations that control 90% of what you read, see, and hear. Comcast, Walt Disney, CBS Corp, News Corp. Then you have Viacom that owns BET, MTV, and VH1. And then you have Time Warner. These are the 6 multinational media corporations that control 90% of what you read, see, and hear. Viacom owns VH1 that has the Love and Hip Hop franchise. Okay. And this is basically how Cardi B really got her start after she stopped stripping. But as I said, this is not an attack on her. I'm just calling it like it is. Cardi B stopped stripping, but she's still prostituting herself. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Let's see if we can hear you again.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Now, I see the flag. Did you move away? I see the flag there in the background, but we don't see. Okay. We see you coming back. All right.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
I've actually been following Cardi B for some time. Not and I didn't catch the Love and Hip Hop days or even the Instagram days before that. Mm-hmm. But as she became a little bit known, a little before Bodak Yellow, and I was a little like, oh, this girl, okay, but I didn't know how big she was going to get. But she did come on my radar, mm-hmm. And when I really began to take a look at her, I just was like, oh, great.
Okay, say that again. You're breaking up. Say that again. You're breaking up. Okay, we'll let you try to adjust that there. Because you're breaking up here. Okay, so
hear me?
All right, so I'm going to post I'm going to post this article here from AtlantaBlackStar.com. Gives you some background information. Also has the interview that Azealia Banks did on the Breakfast Club. Okay, to get some background information. All the parents watching, all the grandparents watching, you need to know about this information because this is negatively impacting our daughters. And it's impacting our sons also, because our sons see a woman like Cardi B gyrating, shaking her behind, talking about what she talks about in her music, right? And they say, okay, that's the type of woman I want. They see a Nicki Minaj. They see that's the type of woman I want, because this is what's being marketed to them in the music video. So we have to understand all this is programming. All this is marketing. All this is selling an idea. Okay. And your thoughts create feelings. Your feelings create actions and behaviors. Your actions and behaviors create results. Okay. What you read, see, and hear affects the way you think, feel, act, and behave. All right. So this is all dealing with programming. This is psychological programming to elicit a desired action, a desired behavior. All right. We're going to get her back on here in just a minute. Okay. Let's send the invitation to her again. Okay. We sent the invitation to you again. All right. Herb Alkhemyst, we'll get her back on. All right. Okay. So in the meantime, how's everybody doing? Hey, if you like this type of information, one, share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Invite your friends to tune in. We know people are eating lunch. You can get some food for thought while you eat as well. We know people are at work, things like this. Okay. Don't turn this up too loud at work because we don't want nobody to get fired. Okay. For this type of information at work. Okay. Number one. Number two, hey, if you like this type of information, you want to support the African History Network, there are a few things we can do, and we're going to bring her back on here. I'm waiting for her to come back on just a second here.
Okay.
Few things you can do. Okay, just hold on a second, Herb Alkhemyst. If you like this type of information, a few things you could do. Number one, if you want to donate to the African History Network to help support us, you can do that. Okay. And that helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting. PayPal.me/the AHN show. We'll post a link here on the thread of the broadcast. PayPal.me/the AHN show. You can also go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and you can, if you want to donate there, you can. Okay. Also, all of my DVD lectures are available at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. I have about 40 of my presentations there. So you can order my DVD lectures. I have some dealing with the film Black Panther as well. Okay. That's at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Go ahead and give people your website address, Herb Alkhemyst, and then we're going to jump back into this also.
Okay, so you can also follow me on Facebook and IG at Herb Alkhemyst, HERBALKHEMYST. And then I also am a herbalist. You can find my products and my wellness services, wellness camps at AMMASHS.com. Also my event, Return of the Gods, ENT.com, returnofthegodsent.com.
Okay, spell your email address, spell your website address again. AM what?
AMMASHS.com.
Okay, we're posting it here on the thread of our broadcast as well. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I want to post a link for this article from AtlantaBlackStar.com here on the thread of the broadcast on Facebook to give you all some background information. We'll put this in Crowdcast also, because we're also broadcasting on Crowdcast as well. All right. And yeah, we're broadcasting on Crowdcast also. Okay, we'll post this. And now there was an article from HelloBeautiful.com. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, because I sent it to you. And this article dealt with Cardi B's, it dealt with her deleting her Instagram account. Okay. And we'll post this here on the thread of the broadcast also. So name of this article from HelloBeautiful.com from, what's the date of this article? Okay, they don't have a date on. Where is this date? Okay, anyway, Cardi B deletes Instagram after clapping back at Azealia Banks. The Invasion of Privacy rapper, that's the name of her new CD. The Invasion of Privacy rapper is so fed up that even her Twitter account is private now too. Okay. And it talks about how it all started when Azealia Banks appeared on the Breakfast Club this week, where she called Cardi B a caricature of a black woman. Okay, and she said, like, if my spelling and grammar was that bad, I would be canceled. If Nicki Minaj spelled like that, we would be raging. we will be ragging on her all day. And basically what this goes to, she's also talking about light skin preference, light skin preference as well, and how there's a different set of standards for light skin artists as opposed to darker skin artists, brown skin or darker skin artists. Okay. So it has the Instagram post from Cardi B is you already talked about. And then Cardi later stressed, I am from the hood. I speak how I speak. I am who I am. I do not choose to be famous. I do not choose to be famous. People choose me. I didn't ask to be an example or a role model. Okay. The rapper also, let's see. Hold on. Yeah. The rapper also, just one second. The rapper also tweeted on Saturday, May 12th, quote, I'm tired of all the BS. I need to enjoy my pregnancy, family, new projects, and my partner. Listen to invasion of privacy, end quote. Now her Twitter is on private. Her Twitter is marked, her tweets are marked private, so you can't share them apparently as well. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yes, I wanted to speak to her saying, well, I didn't ask to be a role model, etc.
Yeah, go ahead.
Naturally, when you take a certain role and you become a public persona, you have to be aware that this persona is being, children are able to see what you're saying, all of these different.
Right.
I've seen certain concerts where Cardi B literally says to the crowd, hey, if you can't get a job, you need to sell some pussy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about whether or not you.
I didn't know she was going to say that, y'all, but
I'm
okay.
not.
Go
and
ahead.
these are literally her words. I want to just show you.
Right. I understand. Right.
Words will never be urban words.
Right.
The degree by which she is putting certain things out there. The other day, she posted on her Instagram, "Oh, girls, the drug dealers are out. Get ready. The drug dealers are out. These types of things."
You said get ready. The drug dealers are out. Is that what you said?
Telling like,
okay.
Basically like, oh, get some money from them or this or that. Put on your, your heels and your red bottoms, your hoochie clothes or whatever. So,
right.
My point is that there's a program that the powers that be have noticed that works in terms of keeping African American women distracted from tapping into their ultimate power. And this program has been created since the days of Little Kim, and they were amplified with the Nicki Minaj era. And now we're entering this Cardi B phase and getting more X-rated, just the level of destruction out of control.
Exactly.
And
so go ahead.
I was discussing this with some of my followers on Twitter because we're discussing the post that I wrote and these types of things. And women were saying, oh well, MC Lyte doesn't say anything to her, or this person says she's okay, and these people are proud of her that are women that are in hip hop. They're giving her the green light, so just let her grow and these different things. And that's why I said, well, your own ignorance can be taken advantage of. And that is what we're seeing, I feel, with the Cardi B situation, that she is a young girl from the Bronx and still growing up, etc. And that maybe 10 years down the line, when she looks back on the types of things she said, she may very well be very embarrassed, At the same time, this program is extremely destructive. And where we aren't allowing these types of images, these types of words to be played, so readily on the radio, or so readily pushed to the children, because we see the result. We see the level of opioid addiction skyrocketing. All of these artists, what do they say in the song? They talk about Percocets and talk about these drugs. They talk about unsafe sex. I talk about sex very often. I deal with reproductive health and the rate at which even sexual disease is affecting our community. And so to push these types of things without also saying, hey, wrap it up, do these, you're creating girls behind you that are really digging a grave for themselves. And
Exactly.
we tell
Exactly.
them, oh, well, be proud of her. She worked hard. These are different things. Worked hard for what? To be able to tell young women that it's okay to sleep with another man that's married? Worked hard to put that message out there?
Right, exactly. Exactly. And once again, we're not beating up on Cardi B, but at the same time, we have to understand that this
program,
Cardi B and others is not just her,
not at all.
but she's one of the most prominent ones. But Cardi B and others like her, their messages are influencing our daughters. Many of our parents and grandparents who are raising this generation of children don't understand these messages, don't know who these artists are, right? And don't really understand the impact that they're having on our children. Okay. So and the other thing is, I think it's important for us to understand that our children cannot be science experiments. Our children cannot be science experiments. And what I mean by that is, they say, okay, well, this artist is young and they're going to mature, right? We don't have time for them to send out negative messages to our children that will ultimately influence the way they think, feel, act, and behave, while we wait for a particular artist to mature so they start putting out positive messages. Because when you look at white artists, these white artists largely are not putting out these type of messages directed to white children. Okay. And I talked about this last night on my show, the African History Network show on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. And we have the Facebook Live broadcast here on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. Then I did another 2 hours for part 2 when I left the radio station. Okay. If you look at these labels that these hip hop artists are on, the record company, the larger corporate conglomerate, they have white artists on the labels. They put out pop music, things like this, right? If you go listen to that music that they're putting out for white kids to listen to, you think you're on an entirely different planet. If you watch BET Jams, where they show the hip hop videos, you watch an hour of that, and then watch an hour of Fuse TV, which shows like top 40 videos. I do this experiment about once a month. You'll think you're on a different planet, because when you see their music and their videos, they're largely talking about love, relationships, marriage. Okay. There's not a whole lot of talk about promiscuity. There's not a lot of promoting of alcohol, especially in the videos. There's not a whole lot of talk about drugs and violence and guns. That's not largely in their music. When you listen to the corporate hip hop, they're talking about promiscuity, drugs. They show alcohol in the videos, which is marketing to our children. Alcohol, many of them are not old enough to drink, is marketing violence, opioids, things like this to our youth. So we have to understand this programming. Okay. One of the things that people can do, number one, is educate themselves. This is one of the reasons why we're doing this broadcast of this. 2, go to azlyrics.com, read the lyrics of these different songs so you can have these conversations with our children. 3, many people who are watching this broadcast right now are invested in privatized prisons and gun manufacturers and don't know it. It's through your 401k plans and it's through your pension fund plans. But also many people are invested in entertainment companies that put out negative hip hop. We're not against hip hop. You're a hip hop artist. I grew up listening to conscious hip hop. We know Professor Griff. We know Soleil. We know a lot of not no Speech from Arrested Development. We're in the documentary together, so we know positive hip hop artists. Okay, but we also have to stop financing our own dehumanization.
Absolutely.
So what we have to do, get with your benefits manager, okay, and find out which industries and companies your 401k dollars are invested in, which industries and companies your pension fund dollars are invested in, okay, and find out, and research these companies. If they're invested in companies that put out negative corporate hip hop, we need to divest from that and put it in a different company, put it in a different industry, okay? Go ahead. Then I'm going to go ahead. Herb Alchemist, and then I'm going to share some of the lyrics from Bodak Yellow from Cardi B. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And so what I did want to mention is that there comes a point where we have to stop giving passes. We have to stop giving passes to people that knowingly are contributing to our demise. You know, and this is something that Azealia Banks even mentioned, you know, that you can't use the excuse of being from the hood or this or that as to why you promote what you promote, etc. And the reality is, you know who Lauryn Hill is. You talk about God, and this isn't about bashing Cardi either. This is about bashing the program and anyone who's willing to take up the program of what I call prostitution rap, knowing that it is clearly destructive. She knows that she wouldn't want anyone sleeping with her baby daddy, you know. So, but you'll put it in a lyric. Why would you put it in a lyric? Because you're interested in generating wealth for self, you know, for your family. We have to stop being willing to step on our own people's necks in order to get to somewhere. We got to get rid of that crab in a barrel mentality. And for people saying, oh, well, you know, let them grow up, or the elders are co-signing these different things. When are we going to cut things off to a point where now we are only allowing ourselves to uplift one another? When is it going to come to that point? When we're extinct, then opportunity to do so. Music is very powerful. If I say something to you and I put it and I record it and you're playing it over and over again, this now is like a spell for you. This now is
it's programming.
It's programming. It's a mantra for you. Repeat over and over again. So if you're repeating over and over again things telling you to kill, steal, cheat, lie, deceit, then I'm basically programming you for destruction, for your own demise, for you to go and do harm to others. Our people have been hit by so many angles. We have the, you know, people outside of our race doing so much to destroy us. We need to now come to a point where we're holding each other responsible for our elevation. And there needs to come a point where the people who are speaking these destructive lyrics are the lesser, you know, are less heard, are less seen. And where people who are pushing that real organic hip hop, because our hip hop was created to heal. Hip hop was created to build our people up. Until that is more pressed at the forefront, I don't want to hear anything about, oh, let this person do what they want to do. Let this person grow up, this and that. We don't have time for that.
Exactly. So I just posted an article here on the thread of the broadcast. NYC pension fund to back out of investments in private prisons. NYC pension fund to back out of investments in private prisons. This is from New York Daily News, June 8th, 2017. And this is something they actually did. So this is what I was talking about. City employees in the city of New York divested $48 million of their pension fund dollars from 3 privatized prisons: Geo Group, Core Civic, and G4S. Okay. And they basically said, you may have privatized prisons, but you're not going to do it with our dollars. All right. This is dealing with redistributing the pain. Redistributing the pain of those inflicting pain upon us through targeted, sustained economic withdrawal strategies. Okay. So check out that article. Because this is something that we need to do when it comes to entertainment companies as well. Okay, so if we look at some of the, and the other thing, you talked about the programming and the music, right? So if we look at music from like the 60s and 70s, right? African-American music, largely they were talking about love. They're talking about I'm Black and I'm proud. But you listen to Motown music, it's music that made you feel good, okay? You talk about, you know, the love train and things like this. I'm Black and I'm proud, what have you. It's music that made you feel good. So this is the type of program. This is the frequency that the music was operating on. All right. And it made you want to love. It made you, you know, made you happy, things like this. So then we have to ask a question. Well, what does Kill a Negro music do? What does that program you to do? Okay, what mood does that put you in when you're bombarded with imagery and music promoting alcohol, drug usage, promiscuity, violence? Okay, so we really have to understand this programming. If we look at some of the lyrics from Bodak Yellow, and this is from azlyrics.com. We'll post a link here on the thread of the broadcast. So this is one of Cardi B's biggest hits. Okay, and we'll put this in Crowdcast as well. So just an excerpt of it. Now I'm not going to say the curse words, but sad little B, you can't F with me if you wanted to. These expensive. These is red bottoms. These is bloody shoes. So red bottoms are expensive shoes. I don't know why they're so expensive. Okay, but she's promoting the materialism. Okay, this is another thing that you see in hip hop that's different than popular music. That's different than pop music. You see a promotion of materialism, a promotion of the designer brands and things like this. Now, some people say, well, it's because the hip hop artists grew up poor. Well, there are more poor white people in America than there are poor African Americans. There are more poor white people in America than there are poor black people. Okay, so it's not that they grew up in poverty and other people didn't. That's not it. Hit the store. I can't get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick. Cut an N-word off. So don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now. I make money moves. She's talking about when she used to be a stripper. This is why I said she stopped stripping, but she's still prostituting herself. I don't dance now. I make money moves. Say I don't gotta dance. I make money moves. If I see you and I don't speak, that means I don't F with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, B. I make bloody moves. Okay. Then she goes on to say, okay, well, we posted a link here and okay. She goes on to say, I'll let him get what he want. He buy me Yves Saint Laurent, and the new whip. When I go fast as a horse, I got the trunk in the front. I'm the hottest in the street. Know you probably heard of me. Got a bag and fix my teeth. Hope you H's, hope you hoes know it ain't cheap. And I pay my mama's bills. I ain't got no time to chill. Think these hoes be mad at me. Their baby father run a bill. Okay, so she's really talking about exchanging sex for clothing. When you read this, okay, which is something that Nicki Minaj talked about in her huge song Anaconda. Because Nicki Minaj talked about, he keep me lace in I forgot which designer it was, right? But then she also talked about dating a guy who sold cocaine, okay? And he kept her laced in clothing and things like this, right? These are the messages promoted to our youth. Go ahead.
They are the messages promoted to our youth, and when Nicki Minaj came on the scene, what we saw was a huge rise in plastic surgery amongst women, from the African American community. We saw a surge in that. And now the Cardi B thing, she's openly representing being a gang member. You know what I'm saying? Openly representing.
What would you say about Cardi B and being a gang?
Openly representing being a gang member. These types of things. Whereas a gang, like that was kind of like being pushed to the background. Those types of things. Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing like this resurgence of thinking these types of things are cool. And so this is what it comes to. And I was mentioning how, we can be taken advantage of in our youth. We can be given like all these things like, oh, okay, great. I can just be who I am and all this stuff. But we don't understand that when we have a spotlight on us and we're magnified, then now we're on the grand stage. The world grand stage, and so
right.
It becomes also a challenge even sometimes for these artists to elevate and make a change and maintain their popularity. So oftentimes you find them willing to, even if they know that it's what they're doing is wrong, they now have kept up this lifestyle. They now have these bills to pay. They now take care of all these different people. So then they're willing to be a pawn and continue to play the game. you know, but we cannot act like we're simply ignorant. That's what I do like about Azealia calling out, even though her herself, like if we pulled up some of her lyrics, we'd probably be like, you know what I'm saying? But this is a very healthy narrative to have because it's in a sense calling for a change. It's calling for a change of women in hip hop, the way we're viewed overall. And I do want to touch on colorism as
go ahead.
You know, growing up, I'm a darker complected sister. I was much darker in high school. And, you know, fortunately, my parents instilled a lot of self-love in me. Although I did still deal with bullying from lighter complected sisters growing up, etc. And I did, you know, I wasn't the top pick in high school because, for one, I didn't have the gear, the materialism, the clothes. I dressed nice, but I didn't have the name brand. You know, that's really big for children in high school. And then I wasn't the lighter complected sister with the long hair, right? And so when you look on the TV, this is what's more so being promoted as attractive, you know, and desirable. And whereas the darker complected sisters, it's got to a point now they don't even largely put even African-American, light-skinned sisters in videos these days. A lot of the rap videos, you largely see Hispanic women, Caucasian women. It's gotten wider and wider. I understand that we don't want to we don't want our image, you know, seen with getting alcohol thrown on us and all these different things. At the same time, for the darker sisters, it is kind of difficult because this is showing the young men, hey, well, this is what's attractive.
Exactly.
This is what's not attractive. You know,
exactly.
And that's really debilitating for a psyche of a young girl who is struggling to find her identity and find her self-esteem, you know, with the bleaching creams and all of these different things. And so it's not about putting someone down. It's not even about, oh, well, you know, attacking Cardi for her complexion, but it is about addressing the issue at large and addressing our beauty standards at large and reminding girls that all women are beautiful, all shapes, color, sizes, etc. You know, we are all very beautiful. Now, what I noticed in regards to Azealia Banks, she was calling out Cardi for saying, you know, calling sisters roaches, etc. She actually, Hennessy Carolina, which is Cardi B's younger sister, found some footage and some videos of her.
Wait a second. Her name is Hennessy?
Yes, her name is Hennessy.
I hope she has an endorsement deal from Hennessy.
That's her birth name given to her by her parents. And so
was that what they were drinking when they conceived her?
You know what? I wasn't there, so I couldn't answer that.
I'm just asking. I'm just okay. Okay, go ahead.
So my point is that Azealia was seen using the N-word, you know, talking very bad. There's been posts brought up with her telling people to bleach their skin, you know, these types of things, like just literally when I'm not saying the N-word, like, oh, nigga this or nigga, she's literally like, oh, you niggers, this, and this, you know. So now this is an issue where the colorism is leading to self-hate. What you see with Azealia Banks is a sister scorned. You know, she may have been bullied growing up because of her complexion or this or that, to the point where she is, you know, dealing with some serious self-hate. And this is a serious issue that really needs to be addressed. And this is a part of what she's vocalizing, like, hey, you know, we matter. You know, it's not fair that certain races or complexions can get away with these type of things, but when it's us, we're the worst ones, you know. So I'm trying to understand, how do we address that with the youth? How do we help the youth to understand that the Caucasian beauty standards are not our beauty standards? How do we?
To do that, we have to teach them their history and culture, because your history and culture gives you your VIPs. It gives you your values, your interests, and your principles. Your values, your interests, and your principles. It creates a cultural paradigm that you see the world through. It gives you your standards of beauty. Okay, it gives you your values and interests and your principles. It gives you your self-esteem also. Okay, so what you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. And then also we see there's studies that show when African American children, and as well, especially African American girls, when they learn about their history and culture, it builds positive self-esteem, and it helps them do better academically. It helps them do better in school as well. They're more engaged in their classes, and I don't mean disruptive engagement, but they're more engaged in their classes. They participate in their lessons. They do better in school also. So this is the foundation. All right, and we have to understand that all these sisters, we're not attacking them. These female hip hop artists, we're not attacking them, but the real power lies with the corporate conglomerates that allow this music to be made, that distribute this music, that put this music out, because they don't do this largely for the white artists. They largely don't allow their white artists to put out destructive music, and they definitely don't allow their white artists to put out music with racial epithets and racial slurs in it.
Right.
Okay. See, this is the other thing. See, every other group are protected. You can't put out music that speaks derogatorily about homosexuals, LGBT community, different races of people. You can't put out music with racial slurs in it. The only group of people who are a unprotected group that you can basically say anything negative about are African Americans. You can talk about killing us. You can call us all type of derogatory terms, all type of racial slurs. It's all right. Okay. They allow our artists to do this, but our artists can't say nothing negative about other races of people. They can't call them racial slurs. And other races of people largely in general don't put out music calling their own people racial slurs. So why is it different for us? We have to understand how the media is used to shape the way people think, feel, act, and behave. They use certain language to associate with certain groups of people to then justify the mistreatment of those people, to justify the over policing, to justify the extrajudicial killing of African Americans, and say, well, if they had just complied, why did they talk back? Things like this, because they're looking at because the subconscious has been programmed by thousands and thousands of negative images of African Americans, and say, okay, so this is why you have to treat people like this. This is why we have to be tough on them, because of all these negative images that we see, which are largely a lie. Okay, they come out of white supremacy and racism. Okay, let's see. And then I'm looking up Hennessy, Carolina. So Hennessy, Carolina, Almanzar, born December 22nd, 1995, known professionally as Hennessy, Carolina, is an American social media star and TV personality, probably reality TV. American social media. See, this is one of the problems with reality TV. You know, people can just become reality TV stars overnight and don't have a whole lot of talent. Okay. She's the younger sister of rapper Cardi B. Carolina regularly appeared with her sister on the reality TV show Love and Hip Hop New York, and has been noted for her clothing style. Okay. All right. Whatever. All right. But that's her real name. So, okay, let me go get into that. Okay. Her first name is Hennessy. That's her birth name. Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead and we'll go to some comments here also. Hold on. You still there? Okay, we'll get it back on in just a second here. She blanked out. All right, let's go to some of your comments. So Brittany Lewis said, yeah, between him and Miley. Jacqueline said, I think we have to focus on the message and not the messengers, i.e. Cardi B and Azealia Banks. This narrative isn't new. I truly believe this just means that these topics require further exploration. Yeah, they are the means to deliver this message, but the real power lies with the corporate conglomerates. This is why we have to put economic pressure on them. This is why we need to divest are dollars, pension fund dollars, 401k dollars from these conglomerates that put out negative corporate hip hop. Okay. This is why we need to send a clear message to them that this type of music is not acceptable. Okay. And then we also have to contact the radio stations after we deal with because the radio stations don't make the music, they play the music, they're not the source. We have to deal with it at the source level. Okay. And we have to make it clear this music is not this music is not acceptable. You don't allow white artists to put out this type of music. This music is not acceptable. Okay. Okay, go ahead. We got you back. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Herb Alchemist. Okay, we're waiting for her to reconnect. Okay, we're waiting for her to come back. Okay, we'll go to some of your comments while we wait on her to come back. Okay, let me just a second. We'll get her back on here. How's everybody doing today? Okay, did we get her back? Okay, yeah, we can see you. Okay. Okay, go ahead with your response.
Yeah, you had mentioned a comment. Excuse me, I think I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
I was going to respond to the last thing that you had mentioned.
Yeah, it was a comment from a comment from somebody on Facebook.
Yeah, well, what I was saying is that we most definitely do, and I think what most needs to be seen for is not just so much of these types of music just not existing at all, because the world you have the good and the bad, you have it all. However, you need to be able to show the different examples equally, because there is Cardi B, but then there's also Sarak the MC, is a goddess MC. There's also Rhapsody, a wonderful MC, amazing artist. The question is, when are we going to get to the point where these artists are equally getting the amount of play on the radio? Even Janelle Monáe makes fabulous, very uplifting music. She has some things that are a little questionable, but her message overall
is a lot questionable. But okay, I don't know what the hell pansexual is, but okay.
The Django song she came out with is kind of, it has some uplifting lyrics. My point is that there needs to be a balance, and I think that even a lot of women who are, bringing good lyrical content, I think that sometimes there's a fear pumped into them, that you're going to be crucified like Lauren or crucified. So sometimes it becomes easier to say, well, I'm just going to get in. I know artists that are tremendously talented and very lyrically gifted and conscious, but they're willing to more so make watered down music because they're feeling like, well, if I put out my real music, no one's going to listen to it. So we need to get to a point where we're popularizing in the minds of the youth this healthy music, just like healthy food. Healthy music can be made to taste good, just like, this music over here. So I just say that to encourage artists to release the fear. Real artists, real hip hop artists who keep the blood pumping into this genre. Don't be afraid. If you've been given a voice to vocalize and to empower and to uplift your people, now is the time to make that music. There's never been a time like now to make that type of music. Actually, if you don't mind, Mike, I got a couple bars I wanted to share.
All right, go ahead. And then we'll go to some comments here. Go ahead.
All right. Check it. How the real story goes, my people ruled the planet since inception of the globe. When the first human seed was planted, it ain't landed on Plymouth Rock. No, landed upon the motherland. She's the root of the stock of the soup that was mixed by the hand of life. Africa is the meat and the Caribbean, the spice. Rhyming it kind of nice. Check the balance in my flow. Thought I told y'all once before everything I touch turns to gold.
All right. All right. Good. Good. Okay. Give people your website, and I'm gonna go to some comments also here.
Yes. So my website is AmosHS.com, AMMASHS.com. And you can find me on Instagram. That's where I'm going to be sharing a lot of the music I just dropped. I did a verse to the Chun-Li track. Nicki Minaj did a Chun-Li challenge. So I put my own version up. I'm actually working on a project myself. I'm a part of a hip hop group, TSK, which is me and a couple other fellas, one from Nigeria and one from Jamaica. And I'm also going to be performing. I'm performing at Juneteenth in Atlanta. I'm also the host of that event. And
Right.
And I also wanted to get into Return of the Gods, but did you want to answer questions first before we talk about?
Well, I want to go to some comments here, and then also move the camera back some because it makes you look like really large on the screen.
Is that better?
Okay. I can't see. Hold on. Okay, I guess that's a little better.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's go to some comments here on Facebook. Julie said, "All praises to the Most High." Who's that? Jules said, "All praises." Jacqueline said, "Rarity Rose." Okay, she's responding to somebody. Jabal El Tariq said, "Okay, Britt, you got bars." Okay, Jabal Tariq is named after which means Tariq's mountain. That's where the Moors landed. Named after Tariq ibn Ziyad. Candace Alexander said, "If we don't talk candidly with our children, they can get lost." And this is why we have to teach them their history and culture at an early age, because the history and culture helps to combat a lot of this nonsense. It acts as a immune system, which helps protect them from elements that are coming in trying to attack them. Okay. Erica asked, "What was your Instagram again? What was your Instagram again?"
Herb
Your Instagram page.
Herb.
Herb.
Then Alkhemyst. Alkhemyst. You can find me there.
Okay. At Herb Alkhemyst. Okay. And we'll post it here on our Facebook fan page. ALKHEYMYST. Okay.
ALKHEMYST.
ALKHEMYST. Okay. Had too many Y's in there. All right. We'll post it here on the thread of our broadcast here on Facebook. At Herb Alkhemyst on Instagram. Okay. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP on Instagram. It's the AHN show on Twitter. Okay. The AHN show on Twitter, and the African History Network here on Facebook. All right, Mashana said, "Can someone put her page in the comments?" I just put her page in the comments, and I put a website in there as well, Mashana. Let me get some more comments here. Cerise said that's awesome. I think were you referring to her rapping? Delana said, "All right, sister," referring to you rapping.
Thank you.
Edward Davis said, we have to teach our children first from home, because all that is good, but if the child isn't taught the right way, all that means nothing. Example, why give the birth name to your child Hennessy? Okay. And we also have to teach those in our family. We have to teach not just those in our immediate family and our immediate household, but teach those to our nephews and nieces and grandchildren, things like that, because their parent may not teach them, but the families need to teach this information. When we have family reunions, the children should be involved in presenting the family tree and talking about their ancestors, talking about the people on their family tree. Have the children do those presentations, because this creates a bond between the children and the elders and the children and their ancestors. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is something that we can do at our family reunions. Okay. Candy said you sound wonderful. Okay, go ahead. I think you want to make another comment.
Well, I just thank you everybody who has commented and who has joined this broadcast. It's a very much so needed dialogue. We had conversation about this whole scenario on my personal page a couple days ago, and then it led into the whole light skin war versus dark skin war amongst sisters. And these are just conversations that are necessary and that need to continue to go on, within our community, and I want to say also, if you know positive conscious artists, support them,
Right.
never heard of Sarak the MC, support her, let your children, because there are artists that are out there that are putting out good lyrical content. You just have to go dig. You have to fish a little bit. That doesn't mean that you're not going to find it. So many, this is a huge world. The internet's here now. So many people can put up music these days and share, there may not be the number one person you're seeing on the TV or in the news or this or that, but that doesn't mean that they aren't making good music, So I just wanted to point that out. And I also wanted to mention, I'm the co-producer of an event that we're having out in San Diego, California, August 10th through the 12th, which is the Real Family Reunion Return of the Gods. And our first day is dedicated entirely to hip hop. So that day we have Lord Jamar and Rod Digga hosting our first day event, Return of the Gods of Hip Hop. We have Soulflower Amen, amazing artist headlining, female artist headlining. We have Tebi Zalango, who is a spoken word violinist, a hip hop violinist. He'll be performing. I also do ballet, so we'll be doing a little bit of hip hop ballet together. And we also are honoring, for one, Tupac. We're giving Tupac the God MC Award that day. We have a huge mural being painted of Pac. So for all of the Pac lovers, definitely come out. It's an opportunity to just give him honors and there's a continued mourning surrounding Tupac. So it's just an opportunity for those fans to continue to honor him, continue to release, the pain associated with transition and everything. And we're also honoring Professor Griff of Public Enemy. He'll be there.
Right.
And we're honoring him more for his scholarship work. Professor Griff has done so much. He's written books. He has really brought forth a lot of information and helped even artists like myself to avoid the pitfalls that the industry will try to trap you in today. We're also honoring Brand Nubians, and Lord Jamar will be the recipient of that award. We're honoring B. Dot, another dope conscious artist, male artist, a battle rap artist. And then we're also honoring Sarak the MC. We'll have break dancers. We'll have an off the top battle. So freestyle, off the top battling. And it's just going to be real live organic hip hop, for that first day. And our main day is just an African festival, Royal African Festival. Our theme colors of the year are blue and gold. No particular reason. In 2016, our theme colors were white and gold. And then and that day, Michael, you will be honored for your work and your research, along with Kaba Kamene, along with Queen Afua, along with Chef Aki. And we have, who else do we have? That's just going to be a huge day. It's a 3-day celebration. Our third day, we'll have workshops. We'll have
Soleil also.
Yes, at the first and second day. We're going to be doing an honorary ceremony for Dick Gregory, by which his daughter Ayana Gregory will be singing a tribute to her father. And and then we also, like I mentioned, we have our third day is dedicated to workshops. For those of you who are traveling in, we do have a retreat housing available. So definitely check out our website. If you can post a website, Michael, Return of the Gods.
Yeah, I posted it. Actually, I posted the link here. We have it at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. And as a special AHN, African History Network weekend special. And I posted the link here on the thread of the broadcast here on Facebook also.
Yeah, so we have an Instagram page as well. where you can keep updated, keep up with all our updates. And this is an event that we've done since 2012. So this is not our first event. This is actually our third event. And each year it just gets better. Our first year we honored Delbert Blair. We honored Michael Beckwith of Agape Spiritual Center. We had Professor Griff as one of our speakers. And so, yeah, this year is going to be our greatest year. That's why we're extending it to 3 days. So definitely come out if you love real hip hop, you know, if you love African culture, if you love celebrating the beauty of your people, if you're looking for an excuse or a reason to come to California, let Return of the Gods be that reason. And yeah, and so you also will be supporting the African History Network when you purchase your weekend pass from the link that Michael has. We also have vendor opportunities available. And we also have a sponsorship package as well. If you want to donate to our movement, we're here for it. Again, that's August 10th through the 12th, Return of the Gods.
Yeah, Friday, August 10th through Sunday, August 12th at the World Beat Center in San Diego, California. This is Return of the Gods. I'll be there as well. And visit AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com for more information. We have the link there to their website, returnofthegodsent.com. Okay, and we posted the our link here on the thread of the broadcast, and it has a special African History Network weekend special also. Okay, so we hope to see everybody there.
Sarak the MC is also one of our headline performers. For those fans of Sarak, and B-Dot is performing as well. And it's just going to be amazing. African dancers, you know, the whole nine, natural hair, just come out and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All that's taking place. Okay. All right. Well, look, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And you all can catch this broadcast here on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. We'll put this on our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, Imhotep on YouTube. What's your YouTube channel also?
Mine's is Herb Alkhemyst. I don't really have much there, but I will post video. I will post the Chun-Li challenge video that I did, and just definitely follow me on Instagram if you're interested in checking out my music. And for those of you who are in Atlanta, definitely come out for the Juneteenth event, which is June the 15th, I believe. Well, 14th, 15th, and 7th. Wait, no, 15th.
Is it 3 days or 2 days?
It's 3 days.
It's 3 days, June 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll be there also there. I'm speaking on Saturday. I'll have a vendor booth as well. I'll be in the area with the historians. I'll be doing workshops. Where's this Juneteenth? In Atlanta, but where is it taking place in Atlanta?
It's taking place at Mosley Park.
Mosley Park in Atlanta. Okay, Mosley Park in Atlanta.
Because there's a parade, I believe, the first day, and it's going from Morris Brown College to Mosley Park. And they'll have DJs and totally free event. So come out, bring the children, and enjoy yourself.
Okay, excellent. All right, everybody. Hey, lastly, if you like this type of information, you can support the African History Network. We need your support. It takes a lot of work to do what we do the research, pay the bills, etc. So a few things you can do. One, follow us here on Facebook, our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. 2, you can register. You can sign up for our email newsletter. We send one out a few times a week. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828. Text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Okay, or go to AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. 3, if you want to advertise with the African History Network, we reach thousands of people on a weekly basis, and we can put your ad in the podcast of our weekly radio show. If you want to advertise with the African History Network, email us at customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com as well. Okay. customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We'll post it here also. All of my DVD lectures are available at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com.
And we'll post the information here. And we also have the 8 DVD Black Panther bundle pack, an 8 DVD Black Panther bundle pack, where you get 2 of my lectures dealing with the film Black Panther, and some documentaries, the 1804 documentary, Elementary Genocide Part 3, and some other presentations as well as Black Friday Part 2. I teach online classes, as many of you know. I teach online classes. We have a bundle pack where you get about 10 of them on sale for $60, regularly $130. They're all on demand. They're all on demand. You can watch them at your own pace, watch from around the world. They include Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. Also, great African women in history, the mothers of civilization, African American resistance in the era of Donald Trump, voter suppression, reparations, and how elections have consequences. Also includes the interview I did February 19th, 2018 with one of my teachers, Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson and I were in the Black Friday, one of the Black Friday documentaries together. So I interviewed him February 19th. We dealt with DACA, Deferred Action on Childhood Arrivals, and some other things also. Okay, I agree with them about 90% of the time. We have these debates. We have private conversations where we have these debates, and he usually is forced to agree with me because I lay out the facts and evidence. That's just how I do. All right. And then also you can donate to the African History Network as well. PayPal.me/the AHN show. PayPal.me/the AHN show stands for the African History Network show. Or go to AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com as well. Okay. All right. Okay. So look, Herb Alkhemyst, hey, we appreciate you coming on here today. Yeah, no problem. Check out our broadcast. She broadcasts. We share some of our broadcasts here when she's broadcasting on Facebook also. All right, and we will see you soon. Okay, sister?
All right, peace.
All right, peace. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Hey, remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right knowledge corrects wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. If you've been programmed to call yourself an N-word and act like one, you will be treated accordingly, most likely. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you have been taught about yourself influences the way you think, feel, act, and behave. Okay. All right. So remember, right now, it's correct wrong behavior. It's now over till we win. Wakanda forever. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.